kids logged in next door? She just went looking for you next door.
We moved in, yeah, Mechanicsville. Yeah. It's like 1.5 miles from here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see, let me guess the ages here. I'm pretty good at this. You're the oldest, even though he's bigger. No, I know that already. I'm gonna say 14. Okay. I'm normally more than 1 year old. I work with kids.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of Lieutenant General Todd T. Semonite, 54th Chief of Engineers and Commanding General of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, welcome to today's Change of Command ceremony, and thank you for joining us online. My name is Bob Prince, Chief of Staff, South Atlantic Division, and I will be moderating today's ceremony. This morning, we bid farewell to Major General Diana M. Holland, our commander, and welcome Colonel Jason E. Kelly, our incoming commander. Joining us for today's ceremony is Colonel Matthew Y. McCulley, Deputy Commander, South Atlantic Division. Command Sergeant Major Bradley J. Houston, Command Sergeant Major, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And Command Sergeant Major Douglas S. Paget, Command Sergeant Major, South Atlantic Division. Command Sergeant Major Paget is joined by his lovely wife, Sharon. Our South Atlantic Division members of the Senior Executive Service include Dr. Larry D. McAllister, Director of Programs, and Mr. Theodore A. Brown, Director of Regional Business. Our special guests viewing today's ceremony include Major General Donald E. Jackson, Jr., Major General Anthony C. Funkhauser, Major General Charles R. Hamilton, Major General James O. Eifert, Brigadier General Joy L. Carrera, Brigadier General Heidi J. Hoyle, and Colonel Promotable Christopher G. Beck. We have several former commanders of the South Atlantic Division, including Major General Retired Ernest Edgar III, Major General Retired John F. Sopke, Major General Retired Philip R. Anderson, Major General Retired Randall R. Castro, Major General Retired Michael J. Walsh, and Brigadier General Retired C. David Turner. Other retired general officers joining us today include Lieutenant General Retired James L. Campbell, Lieutenant General Retired Robert L. Caslin, Jr., Major General Retired Hawthorne L. Proctor, Major General Retired Kent D. Sabry, Brigadier General Retired Robert Creer, Brigadier General Retired Margaret Bertram, along with many other distinguished senior leaders, including both current and former members of the Senior Executive Service. Please join me in a round of applause for all of our guests. And now, most importantly, I would like to recognize the family members of General Holland and Colonel Kelly. Please welcome Mr. James Holland, Jr., the husband of current Commander Major General Diana M. Holland. Please also extend a warm welcome to Mrs. Stephanie Kelly, wife of our soon-to-be commander, Colonel Jason E. Kelly, along with sons Jacob and Zachary. Once again, please join me in welcoming each and every one of our guests today. We appreciate everyone making the effort to be here. From time immemorial, armies throughout the world have conducted ceremonies to commemorate victory over an enemy, to honor their heroes, to celebrate special occasions, or to pay homage to their fallen comrades. These ceremonies add color and pageantry to military life. In the United States, the foundation of our present ceremonies was laid by the Continental Army. Today's ceremony is a reflection of prestigious practice since the dawn of our nation. It is derived from our Army's first manual of ceremonies, the Blue Book, written by General von Steuben. The ceremony that you are about to see includes arrival of the official party, presentation of honors, honors to the nation, invocation, change of command, remarks, and the conclusion. This ceremony has been modified to include social distancing protocol. We hope you will enjoy this historic event. The reviewing officer for today's ceremony is Lieutenant General Todd T. Semonite, 54 Chief of Engineers and Commanding General, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. Please rise for the entrance of the official party and remain standing for honors, our national anthem, and the invocation given by Command Sergeant Major Douglas S. Patton.
Good morning. Please join me in a moment of silence as we remember our armed force members that are deployed on foreign soil in protection of our nation's freedom. Let's pray. I extend an invitation to you to join me in prayer. As I pray in my faith according to my beliefs, you are free to pray in your prayer according to your beliefs. Oh Heavenly Father, we thank you for this is the day that you have made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. We're thankful for another monumental moment in the history and lineage of the South Atlantic Division. Today, we celebrate and thank you for 3 years of dedicated service from Major General Diana M. Holland and her husband, Mr. Jim Holland. The division has accomplished all their assigned missions under her leadership and guidance. She has been an extraordinary leader who has led with purpose, direction, and motivation. She has led by example, ensured the division maintained a professional culture, a division that aspired to hire, develop, and retain the best talent, and a division that is prepared for tomorrow. Her legacy will forever be remembered as we are working today to build a better tomorrow. We thank you for her passion to embrace every employee as a valued team member. As Major General Holland, Mr. Jim, and Jake travel to their next assignment, we ask that you restore and equip them as they prepare to lead the Mississippi Valley Division. We're excited as we welcome our incoming commander, Colonel Jason E. Kelly, his bride, Ms. Stephanie Kelly, and their sons, Jacob and Zach Kelly. Colonel Kelly comes to us with a decorated career of tactical and technical experience, and well prepared and excited to lead the division through the next chapter of its history. We welcome him as our new commander. We thank you that he is surrounded by a great staff of experienced leaders and team members who will embrace his leadership and vision for the South Atlantic Division. Give him the grace and strength to run this race that you have called and also qualified him to complete. We ask that you bless him, protect him, may you smile on him and be gracious to him. May you show your favor, and may you give him your peace. We humbly ask these and all other blessings in your Son, Jesus Christ's name. Amen and amen.
Amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. It is tradition to present red roses to the spouse of the outgoing commander. Instead of roses, Mr. Holland is being presented with a red fishing lure, the Berkeley Dredger. This gift is on behalf of the soldiers, civilians, and families of the South Atlantic Division, symbolizing our appreciation for his support and contributions. Please note that this gift is symbolic of dredging requirements of the Southwest Pass, a situation that Major General Holland has promised to correct in her next assignment as commander of the Mississippi Valley Division. Yellow roses are being presented to Mrs. Stephanie Kelly. The yellow roses are in full bloom, welcoming her to the division and symbolizing the relationship she will build with the soldiers and employees and families of the South Atlantic Division. The change of command is a traditional event that is rich with symbolism and heritage. Key to the ceremony is the passing of the unit's colors. These colors represent not only the lineage and honors of the unit, but also the loyalty and unity of its soldiers and civilians. The colors are the commander's symbol of authority, representing his or her responsibilities to the organization. Wherever the commander is, there also are the colors. The custodian of the colors is the Command Sergeant Major, who is a senior enlisted soldier in the unit and principal advisor to the commander. Throughout history, commanders ensured their unit colors were carried by one of their most trusted officers. This practice was used in the United States Army until 1813, when the regulations were changed and the colors were trusted to color sergeants, and now the organization's Command Sergeant Major. The passing of the colors symbolizes the transfer of authority from the outgoing commander to the incoming commander. Because of the reverence the commanders feel toward the colors, it is kept over their left breast during the transfer. The passing of the colors demonstrates to the soldiers and civilians of the organization the old commander has passed the mantle of leadership to the new commander. With this also passes the loyalty of the workforce to their new commander. At this time, Lieutenant General Semonite will pass the colors to the incoming commander, signifying his trust and confidence in his leadership abilities. By authority of Army Regulation 600-20, paragraph 2-5, the undersigned assumes command of the South Atlantic Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, effective 22 June 2020. Signed, Jason E. Kelly, Colonel Commanding. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant General Todd T. Semonite, 54 Chief of Engineers, Commanding General, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and prior Commander of South Atlantic Division.
Well, I'd like to welcome everyone to this great event today and to be able to join us in a virtual venue to participate in the time-honored tradition of a change of command. I appreciate your flexibility to ensure we are compliant with COVID-19 guidelines. Bob read off a lot of the retired general officers and commanding sergeant majors that are out there watching this on Facebook Live. And we have to admit, we've gone out of our way to both be able to be COVID compliant, but at the same time, put as much personality and connection back into this. And Diane and Jim, I almost apologize on the fact that we have to do it this way. Most of these big events that most of the, certainly the retired community has gone through, it is a big day. And everybody's here. And there's 200 or 300 people, and we have to get a big room. And at the end of it, we all funnel through, and everybody shakes hands and gives hugs and has a piece of cake. And you're not able to be able to actually appreciate all that today. But I would just say, everybody who's watching this live, take a time to write a note. Let the Hollands and the Kellys know that you took the time to watch this. And if it's not today or tomorrow, but somewhere just say congratulations. Because we are trying to do this the exact same way we want to, but it's a little bit different. And right now, we actually have 2 or 3 conference rooms here in Atlanta. There's only about 7 or 8 of us here in this room. It's about 20 in the next room over, another room, and everybody's out there. But we try to do the best we could to make this happen. This really is the opportunity to recognize the amazing accomplishments during Diana Holland's command, and also Jason to be able to welcome you and Stephanie in. Your participation in today's ceremony is a testament to the abundant relationships Diana and Jason have cultivated over the years. Thank you to everyone who worked so hard to ensure today's ceremony befits these amazing leaders. Bob just highlighted a couple of the family members here. I want to go a little more detail. Diana and Jim's Holland, Jim family, watching on Facebook Live. Jim's daughter, Misha, and her family, Eugene, and their children, Alyssa, Olivia, Hayden, are all watching from Bloomfield, West Virginia. Diana's parents, Ralph and Johnny Leach, from Eureka Springs, Arkansas. Jim's mom, Nancy, from North Carolina. And Jim's brother, Gary, and sister-in-law, Susan, also from North Carolina. And then again, here in the room today, we're very excited to have Jason's wife Stephanie and their two sons, Jacob and Zachary. Let's give all the family members a big round of applause. Because no one accomplishes anything in this world alone, I want to make sure to recognize the many people who have supported the leaders that we're honoring today. The entire South Atlantic Division team and your valued stakeholders, including partners, contractors, and end users of the projects and services you deliver. I must also thank our families, Diana first and then Jason's in a few minutes. Jim and Diana have been married 25 years this September. Their first encounter was Jim introducing himself and handing Diana a Ziploc bag of filleted trout he had just caught. Diana knew immediately that Jim was a keeper. They have moved 11 times in 24 years, 4 moves in 3 years from 14 to 17, 4 deployments, and a 3-month tour in Puerto Rico in 17, and I'll talk more about that. Diana headed to Puerto Rico almost as soon as she reported to the division. Jim, always patient and supportive, assured her that he and the dogs were fine and for Diana to be safe and to do what she needed to do. Neither of these great commanders would have achieved all their successes without the love and support of their loyal families and the passion and dedication of their workforce. So this is a lot of ceremonial significance here. The change of command is a time-honored tradition, and it serves to ensure that a unit and its personnel are never without official leadership. The ceremony signifies continuity of trust and is also signifies an allegiance to a unit's members to their commander and a commander's esteem for the unit members. Today you'll see a lot of things, and I've already seen a lot of things that build that symbology back into what we're doing. I want to just talk to you about a couple of them. First of all, a former transfer of authority. Today you heard Mr. Brinchford read a written order by which we officially arranged for a new leader to take charge, ensuring the division and its workforce are never without leadership. You saw the passing of the colors, symbolized the transfer of power and authority. The flag represents the weight of accountability for everything that happens or fails to happen on the commander's watching. Diane and Jason, this is something that is always important to me. You have all been in staff jobs before. Jason, you're coming out of a staff job right now, but when you were able to grab that flag, the weight of everyone in the South Atlantic Division is now embodied in that flag. And it's incumbent on you, just like how Diana has done for the last 3 years, to take care of the service members, the civilians, the families, to be able to deliver the program, achieve the vision, and always make sure we have a strong foundation. And it's a big, big deal to all of a sudden go from a staff guy to a commander, and we're glad you're going to do it without any problem. The transfer of allegiance from the outgoing commander to the incoming commander is bittersweet. All of you in South Atlantic Division, you know the Hollands. You know how Diana thinks through things. If you're going to brief her, you know how she's going to react. You know exactly what to expect from that leader. You don't know the new leaders coming in. You don't know the Kellys, and it's going to take a little bit of time. As much as we're all proud of what Diana and Jim have done and going on to their new job, we've got to be able to continue to embrace the Kellys coming in. And we know that, Jason, you're going to be able to drive change and continue to be able to make sure that you make the South Atlantic Division the best you can. And then the continuity of mission. Transitions bring uncertainty and the potential loss of momentum, but they can also bring about innovation, new perspectives, and a renewed zeal. Both of these commanders were strategically chosen for their demonstrated leadership. And then finally, the command of the division. It goes beyond accountability for projects, people, and money. It's about driving change, developing future leaders, and serving as guardians of the Corps' world-class reputation. Diana Holland and Jason Kelly are proven guardians of the Corps' credibility, leaders who develop solutions for the nation's toughest challenges. That's our vision, and they continue to also take care of their people. So I want to talk a little bit about Diana and all the things she's done. The USACE is a world-class organization that completes difficult construction missions in response to emerging threats. Major General Holland and the SAD team have done a great job in advancing our reputation. Let me highlight a few of the examples. And in the Corps, we really have 4 big missions. I'm just going to quickly walk through those 4 and look at Diana's time here at SAD through the lens of our 4 big our main lines. Military missions. While working in a difficult bidding environment, SAD experienced a 50% increase in the number of military construction projects in 2017 with no additional personnel assets. The division awarded 17 MILCOM projects worth over $340 million. In addition, the division awarded an additional $30 million worth of projects to DoD and energy resilience and conservation. Due to the hurricane recovery successes of 2017 and knowing that SAD delivers the program on time and within budget, the Air Force entrusted and selected Diana's regional team to rebuild Tyndall Air Force Base as a model 21st century Air Force installation. This plan includes a mission change of F-35 to relocating F-32 fighter jets, as well as relocation of critical functions to more appropriate campuses and districts. Today, SAD is helping build Fort Gordon to lead the way in the cyberspace frontier, building a 55,000 square acre campus designed to modernize this nation's cyber capabilities. The campus, located in Augusta, Georgia, is home to 18 separate colonel and above level commands with nearly 16,000 military personnel, including an average daily training load of nearly 5,000 students and 11,000 full-time civilians. One of the biggest single projects that we're doing throughout the entire United States, a project that is going to encompass more than $1 billion worth of new construction, all very, very complicated. Second big area is interagency and international service. We have seen massive growth in that line in the last 3 or 4 years. And over the course of her leadership in the division, as a division commander, Diana proactively engaged the stakeholders across the region to advance the program, engendering trust in the reputation of the Corps. Beyond increasing confidence in the Corps' day-to-day program execution, Diana's investment in proactive and transparent communications with elected and appointed leaders, the public and the media paid huge dividends for the division and the enterprise. Third big area is civil works. We have seen in the enterprise, we've gone from $5 billion to over $24 billion in civil works account, and SAD's complex regional and national civil works program made exceptional progress during Diana's tenure. It was influenced by her leadership and her program management skills. Her responsibilities included the annual development, defense, and execution for the region's $8 billion Civil Works Water Resources program. She also assisted USACE in securing the necessary resources to sustain the performance of our existing regional infrastructure portfolio with a current value of $30 billion, recommending prudent investments to deliver newly justified infrastructure across the region as part of the $12 billion construction program backlog. She collaborated with our partner agencies to resolve complex issues related to Endangered Species Act and the Coastal Barrier Resource Act Zone, which moved forward after years of encumbrance. Other key regional commitments, such as the Mobile Harbor Feasibility Study and the Southeast Coastal Assessment, also moved forward with approximately $2.5 million in funding for 17 to 19. Her decisive engagements and leadership resulted in 11 civil works projects valued at over $4 billion in new national investment decisions for the Corps' water resource development projects. These projects include 5 coastal storm damage reduction projects, which are designed to reduce risk to the infrastructure behind the dunes, 5 navigation channel deepenings addressing transportation inefficiencies, and a flood risk management project which will help protect the first town in the nation chartered by African Americans, and 1 ecosystem restoration in 3 states in Puerto Rico. Her civil works team was instrumental in expediting the President's We Can't Wait initiative projects, completing the Miami Harbor deepening construction, and starting the Jacksonville, Savannah, and Charleston Harbor ports. The Charleston Harbor deepening was the first in the Corps to achieve authorization and appropriations under the National Planning Modernization Initiative. These critical navigation projects were necessary to accept the much larger post-Panamax cargo ships that now call our ports on the East Coast, thereby strengthening our economy. And then finally, it goes back to the disaster response. Shortly after taking command in July 17, Diana met her first unprecedented challenge. Both Hurricanes Irma and Maria hit the region. Hurricane Maria devastated the Puerto Rico power grid, leaving 3.7 million residents of Puerto Rico without power and other basic services. While USACE did not have a doctrinal mission for power grid restoration, FEMA asked us to step up and take on this mission of managing Puerto Rico's long-term power restoration mission, which became the South Atlantic Division's main effort. Diana directly led Task Force Power for the Puerto Rico power grid restoration. In coordination with the Puerto Rico Electric and Power Authority, SAD was tasked to restore the power grid to pre-storm conditions. This resulted in a mission assignment of over $2 billion in deployment of 3,000 utility workers and the installation of over 66,000 power poles in support. All had to be brought in. 2 other big hurricanes right before that. Nothing left in storage, and we had to go find that, and Diana brought it all in. Another additional major focus immediately following Hurricane Maria was the coordinated effort which prevented the catastrophic failure of the Guadalajara Dam and the potential loss of life of up to 70,000 residents who lived downstream from the dam. Within 1 month, Diana deployed, forming SAD Forward, and was operating in Puerto Rico alongside the SAD's Tactical Operations Center to manage all staff functions, power restoration, temporary power, blue roof installation, and debris removal. Did a phenomenal job. Under her direction, SAD provided outstanding support, leading our response and recovery team in Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and Florida following the catastrophic hurricanes. The division planned and executed 82 emergency response and recovery mission assignments issued by FEMA, executing both military and civil missions. It was an all-hands-on-deck effort. More than 4,000 USAID employees deployed under Diana's command in response to Hurricanes Irma and Maria recovery efforts. The Corps of Engineers, South Atlantic Division's accomplishments under her leadership were extraordinary. We talked about programming, we talked about building things, we talked about taking care of water resources, we talked about disaster response. But Diana is also very, very important on trying to continue to build the future of the Corps and more capacity, and really about engaging people. She's one of my best out of the 9 division commanders with relating back into people and be able to make sure that the future of the Corps of Engineers has both the credentials and the skill sets they need. She consistently invested time invigorating leader development initiatives to grow future capabilities of the Corps. She spent countless hours mentoring future leaders as part of the Regional Leadership Development Program. She also redesigned the program for high-performing mid-level leaders who have the potential and motivation to progress to senior leadership roles by providing increased opportunities for team members throughout the entire region to build relationships and work on projects that will benefit SAD and USAID's common mission. Dan, you've done a fabulous job. You touched every single thing out there, a massive program, but you did it with not only achieving program delivery, but making sure you have a positive command climate where everybody feels that they can come to work with dignity and respect, and that you also continue to coach and mentor every single day. Jim, thanks so much for standing by our side. We're going to move you to the Mississippi Valley Division. It's a little bit bigger, still kind of close to home, but the bottom line is that every day we still don't know what's going to throw at us, somebody's going to throw at us, and Mother Nature gets involved in these issues. But we are so proud of what the Hollands did here in South Atlantic Division, and know that the people from MVD are going to welcome you with open arms. Let's give the Hollands a big round of applause, okay? So while the Hollands were moving on, we went worldwide to try to find the best colonel we had out there, and it was amazing how many super talented people there were. But the one that we wanted to bring in here was right there in the Pentagon working with us, and that is Jason Kelly and his wife Stephanie and their 2 boys. They've been married for 23 years. Atlanta, Stephanie, is apparently move number 16. You're unpacking boxes yesterday. 2 sons, Jacob, 21, is a rising senior at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. Jacob plays collegiate ball at the Merchant Marine Academy. And then Zachary is 14. He's a rising high school sophomore. Both of them are baseball players. Zachary has played for most of his life and will join a youth program here in Atlanta. And then, while the virtual people might not be able to see easily, we've got a program here. And I went down through and looked at all the accomplishments of both of these great leaders. The actual font on the program was so small, even Diana, those with glasses, needed extra help on it. But Kelly's accomplished an awful lot in his career, and I'm not going to go through all of it. But one of the areas where people really come into their own and be able to say they're a senior leader is when they have battalion command. Jason had battalion command of the 20th Engineer Battalion at Hood, and did a great job. Selected for our Corps of Engineer District Command in Norfolk, and I saw him several times when he was working in there up until 18, a lot of difficult projects. And then I get to pick one of the colonels to go command for a 4th year in Afghanistan. We normally have 15 to 20 colonels coming out of command. He was without a doubt the one person we needed. We had other great colonels go into Afghanistan, but Jason went in and commanded in a combat zone, our transatlantic Afghanistan district, and it was amazing. And then, because he did such a great job, he came to work in the Pentagon for me. He's coming here. I walked out of the Pentagon last week, pretty intense job, but it was in this role that I really worked closely with him. I've had the utmost trust and confidence in his leadership ability. And I want to just take a moment to highlight some of his significant contributions during his previous tour in the Pentagon. His ability to motivate and inspire the workforce were instrumental in ensuring that the Office of the Chief of Engineers was visible and present in the Pentagon in taking care of our warfighters. He refined the internal battle rhythm to enhance synchronization across all key nodes of the regiment while integrating senior regimental leaders. His agility and resiliency in an extremely turbulent decision-making environment allowed Jason to make sound recommendations that supported key senior leader decisions. He's a master at attaining results which in turn enhance the reputation of the Office of the Chief of Engineers, the Engineer Regiment, and the entire USACE enterprise. And Jason, your accomplishments both in force structure, in talent management, and in equipment modernization will continue to go on to serve troop units that are out there on the front lines every single day because you stepped up and did a lot of challenging things. He played a pivotal role in his integration between the USACE and the Army staff, as well as with senior leaders in response to Tropical Storm Barry, Hurricane Dorian, the Puerto Rico earthquakes, and COVID-19 pandemic. Jason is truly a mark of what we ask for in our superstar engineer colonels. Jason, your skills and experience will be greatly valued in your role as the commander of the South Atlantic Division, and Connie and I in the Houstons wish you and Stephanie and your family the best of luck in the land. Let's give Jason a big round of applause. So serving as a commander is a tough and important job. Being elected as the commander of a division doesn't happen by accident. It requires a highly motivated, agile leader to manage a tremendous volume of day-to-day businesses and facilitate a long-term success of mission organizations. The right candidate is a strategist, an advisor, and a doer. Major General Diana Holland and Colonel Jason Kelly, you have proven time after time that you are the right leaders for the toughest jobs. I'm excited to see what you will accomplish to service and others in your new assignments. To the members of the South Atlantic Division team, thanks for everything you do every day, delivering projects and programs on time and within budget for our stakeholders. Connie and I really missed our time in the South Atlantic. It was one of our best jobs in our 41 years, and I know that every single day, while the generals and the command sergeant majors and the SCSs continue to give you some strategic direction, it's the hardworking people of the South Atlantic Division that really accomplish the mission. You are well known and respected by state leadership, by port directors, by Everglades leaders. You make a big, big difference, and at the end of the day, it couldn't have been done any better by anybody else. So thank you for everybody for being with us today, and I'm sorry again that this is a little bit different than normal. I hope that the two families that are here, we really try to personalize this as much as possible. But phenomenal command teams, a phenomenal division, and I know that as much as Diane has taken you to very, very high levels, Jason and Stephanie will continue to move you even higher. All right, with that, let's give everybody one more round of applause. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Major General Diana M. Holland.
Well, it's afternoon. I was about to say good morning, but we've just crossed into the afternoon. So good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Lieutenant General Semonite, Command Sergeant Major Houston, other distinguished guests, the South Atlantic Division team, family, and friends, thank you for taking time out of your schedule to farewell Jim and me and to give a warm SAD welcome to Jason Kelly and his family, Stephanie, Jacob, and Zachary. I'll start by thanking the team that made this COVID-19 compliant ceremony possible: Command Sergeant Major Paget, Kimberly Wintrick, Rod Evans, Shannon Gioli, the trio of aide-de-camps, Captain Hannah Matthews, Captain Mark Fisher, and Lieutenant Chandler Cole, plus Sergeant First Class Jones Wright, Captain Simmons, Captain Higgins, and of course, the voice of SAD, Chief of Staff Bob Prince. To Jason Kelly, just so you know, a ceremony in SAD doesn't count unless Bob is your narrator. So thank you, Bob, for being here and making this count. It wouldn't be the same without you. Over the last couple of months in other forums, I've had the opportunity to thank and recognize district commanders, their civilian deputies, our employees, as well as SAD staff. But I will say one more time, thank you for what you do every day in support of USACE and its amazing mission. And so for the balance of my time today, And thank you, General Semonite, for highlighting the extraordinary programs of this region. I couldn't describe them any better than you did. So I will take the balance of my time to express my recognition and thanks to the SAD team through highlighting some of its superstars. General Semonite often says, and I'm paraphrasing slightly, the power and the value of USACE is not measured by concrete and steel. It is measured by the passion in the hearts of our people. The 3,500 employees of this region have proven that sentiment over and over again. They do remarkable things because they work together inspired by a remarkable purpose. So while I can't highlight everyone or even every specialty, I will attempt to honor the people of our region by highlighting a few employees of different backgrounds and communities of practice with whom I've come into contact, who are stars or standouts in their fields and who exemplify the values of USACE. Starting in the north with the Wilmington District. The first person is a representative of the emergency management community, a community I came to know very well, too well perhaps, throughout my tenure here. I met Janelle Mavis at my first regional hurricane tabletop exercise in August of 17, and then got to know her better in the U.S. Virgin Islands during the Hurricanes Irma and Maria response, and then again in 2018 in the Hurricane Florence response. With the number of disasters this region has faced in the last 3 years, the EM community has really had to step up. The region has been almost continuously activated for emergencies the entire time I've been here. Janelle is highly respected by the entire USACE EM community, and SAD is lucky to have her. Next from Wilmington is Program Analyst Heather Edwards. Promoted recently, we know that she does her official job very well, but she also volunteered her free time, if there is such a thing, to serve as president of the District Recreation Committee. Furthermore, Heather is also a wife and mother of 3 kids, 2 of whom are 1-year-old twins. To me, Heather represents not just her district and her professional community, but she also serves as a reminder that many core employees face the challenge of balancing work and raising children. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge that in this pandemic, much of the support network that our employees normally rely upon, schools, daycare, neighbors, grandparents, weren't or still aren't available. And for those employees, balancing work and family took on a whole new meaning. Thank you, Heather, and all the parents like you who have managed this balancing act while ensuring that the mission succeeded. Moving to Charleston and another critical specialty, regulatory. One of their very impressive members is Jarrett Salini. Jarrett was recently recognized by the Chief of Engineers with the USACE Don Lawyer Regulator of the Year Award. There are many reasons that Jarrett stood apart, but most noteworthy was his work in paperless permitting and GIS remote sensing. This capability not only makes us better in normal situations, but particularly during the pandemic, when contact between our employees and applicants and third parties was limited or not possible. Jarrett is not just a shining example for the regulatory community, but also an example of someone who is driven to adapt and innovate. Also from Charleston is Connie Willis, Chief of Business Operations Branch, the BOB, or the BOB, in the Contracting Division. Always enthusiastic and dedicated, she is constantly looking for ways to improve processes and performance. In just the year that she has served as Chief of the BOB, she has made a difference. Charleston District has earned the best contract closeout rate in the region for the last year. To the Savannah District, Civil Engineer Jimmy Liu has been a rising star for some time. He has served on the district's temporary emergency power planning and response team, supporting the Superstorm Sandy and Hurricane Irma responses, and more recently was recognized as a USACE hero for his work on the alternate care facility mission in support of the COVID-19 response. Jimmy served as the district's ACF planning team project manager, averaging 100-hour work weeks for 2 straight months. He and his team orchestrated solutions for 41 facilities across Georgia, North Carolina, and the U.S. Virgin Islands. Also from Savannah is Chief of Logistics, Valerie Aline Robinson. Val is known for her teamwork and effective leadership of logistics efforts in Savannah and Mobile, but also when supporting other districts and when deployed to Afghanistan. No surprise that she was an Army soldier before coming to the Corps. And like a number of our employees, she is a proud soldier for life, and SAD is equally proud to have her on the team. To the Jacksonville District and from the Public Affairs, Corporate Communications Community of Practice is Brigida Sanchez. I first met Bree when she came to Atlanta from the Walla Walla District to support our media efforts for inbound hurricanes Irma and Maria. She ended up spending several weeks with us through our various disasters. Brigida exemplifies what we're looking for in our public affairs teams. She envisions the story to be told, captures it in still shots, video, and print. But in addition to the skills, it's the passion and empathy that elevates the effectiveness of her story. She has received USACE for Department of the Army level awards in each of the 3 years I've known her, and it's great that she is now permanently on the Jacksonville team. From the Antilles office in Puerto Rico is Marcel Garay. I first met Marcel in December 2017 when I visited the Portuguese Dam on the south side of Puerto Rico. Marcel had been the project engineer during its construction. I saw Marcel again last October when I visited the Rio Puerto Nuevo project, for which he again serves as a project engineer. Not only is he a standout and superstar in Puerto Rico and the Jacksonville District, but on this day, in 1987, he joined the USACE team at the Antilles office. He is one of many USACE employees who gives us decades of exemplary service. Happy 33rd anniversary to Mr. Garay. Finally, to the Mobile District. Kerry Murray is part of the Human Resources community. He's the CPAC director for Mobile and is well known not only as an expert in his field, but also as a team builder of HR professionals and a bridge builder between that team and the rest of the district. I first met Kerry in Puerto Rico in October of 2017. Now, one might argue that the reason I'm highlighting him is because in that first meeting, he offered me a handful of Jolly Ranchers. But I would counter that being the recipient of the national level USACE Award for HR Specialist of the Year validates him as an SAD Human Resources superstar. Next from Mobile is Ranger Alan Earhart, lead ranger at Carter's Lake. He represents the hundreds of USACE park rangers who take care of our lakes, ensure the safety of our visitors, and are often the only contact our communities will have with the Corps of Engineers. It is important that they are the right people. Ranger Earhart is one of those. I'm highlighting him today not only because he is one of our very best in the normal business of a Corps rec area, but also because I just approved the Civilian Award for Humanitarian Service for actions he took to save a life, though this time not a boater at a lake as you might expect. Alan was at a gas station a couple of weeks ago when on an adjacent road, a motorcyclist was hit by an oncoming car. A witness reports that Ranger Earhart, without hesitation, donned his COVID protective gear and ran to the scene of the accident and attempted to save the man's life. Sadly, the motorcyclist did not survive, and I know that was devastating for our ranger. I use this example not just because of Alan's heroic actions, but as a way to acknowledge the life and death situations our rangers sometimes face. They work very hard to prevent tragedy through an aggressive water safety program, and they are often on the scene to render aid when our visitors are in distress. USACE is fortunate to have such public servants in our organization. The last employee I'd like to highlight works in the SAD headquarters. She is Debby Cirno, Senior Environmental Planner. Just over 2 years ago, she was diagnosed with cancer. It was, of course, shocking to everyone. In the months that followed, Debby underwent a lot of treatments, which had many side effects. But she persisted with the same grit and positivity that her co-workers had witnessed on the job. When I would see her in the hallway, she always had a smile and her usual sense of humor. It was heartwarming to watch her get her strength back, all the while continuing the USACE mission. She, like several others in SAD, employees and family members, who are battling life-threatening illnesses serve as pillars of strength, faith, and resilience. They are an inspiration. These 11 employees I have highlighted are just the tip of the iceberg. And if they were standing here, they would argue that they shouldn't be singled out because they can't do what they do alone. It takes a great team to be successful. And that humility is another attribute of a superstar. And speaking of some other superstars, Command Sergeant Major and Sharon Padgett, it has been wonderful to serve with you both. We've enjoyed the positivity you bring to every situation. Sergeant Major, you have proved yet again that our NCO Corps is essential and value added. Our Army couldn't do what it does in the professional way it does without our NCOs. Thank you for your service in SAD, but even more so as you close in on that retirement date, thank you and Sharon for your 30-plus years of service to the Army and the thousands of soldiers and their families whom you've impacted. Jim and I wish you the very best in the next phase of your lives. Profound appreciation to General Semonite. Sir, thank you for bringing us to the Corps in 2017, for allowing us to stay with this team for 3 years, and then programming us for a second USACE assignment. Jim and I thank you and Connie for your many years of service to the Army. It will be very noticeable when you depart. Few people can bring the energy and passion that you do to the job, and everyone who knows you expects you to see you continue to serve in some way with the same energy and passion that we've had the privilege to witness. Our best to Jason Kelly and his family. Jason and I have served twice together before. One of those occasions we were both in Afghanistan. He was in command of the 20th Engineer Battalion, and I was commanding the 130th Engineer Brigade. We met in Kandahar, and I remember 2 things about that meeting. First, he was smiling, as usual. I remember thinking that he was in his element. The second thing I remember was his coffee regimen. Where most of us thought it was a luxury if we had a Keurig, Jason had a French press. I'd never even heard of a French press until that morning. I accepted his offer of a cup of coffee, and out came this gadget. Making a cup of coffee was clearly an art form for him. He was so deliberate with this routine, and it really was an extraordinary cup of coffee, and I was wired for several hours. But working with Jason again over the last several weeks as we transitioned this job has been great. He is so motivated and positive about this assignment. It is hard for me to let go, but knowing that a friend will be in the seat makes it a little easier. So to the Kelly family, Jim and I wish you all the best. We know you will enjoy the people and the camaraderie that we experienced over the last 3 years. Finally, a thanks to mine and Jim's immediate and extended families who can't be here today. Many are watching this on Facebook. To my parents, Jim's mom, our daughter Misha, and her family, thank you for your continued support and love. And last but most important is my husband and best friend, Jim. I would not be where I am if it weren't for his confidence, his support, and his sacrifice so that I can continue this journey. Hun, thank you for everything you do behind the scenes for me, for our soldiers, our family, and our Army. I love you very much, and I look forward to our continued journey together. In closing, thank you all, South Atlantic Division, for the education, the hospitality, and the memories. Though Jim and I are moving to the Mississippi Valley Division, we will continue to be 2 of SAD's biggest fans. SA-ONs, building strong and Army strong.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Jason E. Kelly, Commander, South Atlantic Division, U.S. Army Corps of Engineers.
To the many general and flag officers attending virtually, Lieutenant General Semonite, Command Sergeant Major Houston, members of the Senior Executive Service, Command Sergeant Major Padgett, Command Sergeant Major Blancy, friends, fellow servants of our great country, and partners in the continued development of the southeastern United States, the Caribbean, Central and South America, to the devoted men and women of the Greater U6 enterprise, and more specifically, to the dedicated professionals of the South Atlantic Division. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, General Semonite, for your presence here today, for your superb leadership, for the personal investment that you've made in me, and for being a great ambassador of the professional arms and the engineer regiment. To Connie Willis, Stephanie and I are likewise honored by your virtual presence here today. We find the example that the two of you routinely set as a long-tenured military couple and family to be motivated. You embody what we aim to be. With more than 40 years in this business, you are the standard. And every time I'm in your midst, you make me want to do better. Please join me in a round of applause and an outward expression of gratitude for our chief and Connie. To Major General Holland, I've long watched and admired you work from afar. As a Deputy Brigade Commander more than a decade ago, I was afforded the opportunity to see you in action up close as one of the 36th Engineer Brigade's 4 battalion commanders. But over the course of the last few months, the candor, transparency, and sage counsel that you've offered as I prepared for this day, for this moment, has not gone without notice and is much appreciated. It's never been about you. You've consistently emphasized the importance of the people that comprise this amazing organization. Your quest to deliver, cultivate a professional culture, hire, develop, and retain exceptional talent, establish enduring relationships, and communicate the regional story, all while preparing for tomorrow, has been a resounding success. But a few moments ago, all in attendance witnessed the time-honored tradition, the change of command ceremony. They had to get creative with this one. Pulled it off. The ceremony is something that we, in service to our beloved nation, are accustomed to. A reality that is ours. Change and transition are every year. Today we transition command. We're changing leaders. Not because we found one lacking or less desirable, but because both change and transition are very necessary. It's how we stay fresh. It's how we develop. It's part of our winning formula. Command demands decisiveness, action, adherence to high standards, learning from mistakes, be a little better tomorrow than you were today. Commanders honor commitments. They do what they say they'll do. They walk the talk. They ensure that their audio is in sync with their video. General Holland, you've done this, and I will. Commanders are accountable. They take ownership of their work. They're always in search of a better way, thinking differently, challenging convention. They reject how we've always done business. General Holland, you've done this. To the teams in Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, Mobile, and Jacksonville, do know that I will. Commanders are responsible leaders. They believe that everyone in the organization will make the best decision that they can in the moment. So they encourage decisions be made rather than delayed and referred to someone else. General Holland, you've done this. To the division's water, environmental, and industry stakeholders, combatant commanders, installation commanders, I will. Because commanders lead people. Accepting the mantle of command demands that a commander be a brilliant coach. Brilliant coaches know so much more than the rules of the game. They know how to communicate. They position players in such a way that generates amazing results for the team. They guide inspire, and empower the team to release and develop its full potential. General Holland, you've done this. I can't wait to get started because I will. Those of you that have served me before know that I'm consistent with my can-do. Motivated, not some days, but always. And on this day, I'm fired up for the Kelly family. I'm excited about this assignment. I'm excited about the prospects of Atlanta and the commencement of a new journey. I'm excited for Stephanie and our men. I'm excited to be active in this community. I'm excited about Zach flying high at Jackson High School. I'm excited about Jacob and the celebration we're going to have at our new residence here in Atlanta when he graduates from the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy next summer. I'm excited about executing today, all the while preparing for a better tomorrow. I will remain a good steward of this very special organization, an able ambassador of the engineer pastor and our craft. Building strong, SA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Engineer Regimental March, the Army Song, and the departure of the official party. The words are located on the back of your program. However, due to COVID-19 precautions, please refrain from singing. Listen only.
In the castle of my tower, I've done my training for the team. You can call me an engineer soldier, the warrior spirit has been my creed. Let's say on, whether in war or peace, we will bear our red and our white. Let's say on, we serve America and the U.S. Army Corps. For 100 years, let's say on, let's say on. March along, sing a song with the army of the free. Count the brave, count the true, who have fought to victory. We're the army and proud of our name. We're the army and proudly proclaim. First to fight for the right and to build the nation's flag, and the army goes rolling along. Now all be the proud, fight until the battle's won, and the army goes rolling along. Then it's high, high, hey, the army's on its way. Gallop and Kate is on its throne. Wherever we go, you will always know, and the army goes rolling along.
Ladies and gentlemen, please remain in position until the official party departs. On behalf of the commander of the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, we want to thank you for attending and viewing today's Change of Command ceremony. Army strong, building strong, Essians, working today to build a better tomorrow.